Hi, my name is Cassie Demick, and I am a sports dietitian at Achieving Your Best here in Springfield, and we are going to talk about water loss during running. So whenever you're running, you definitely sweat, and everyone has a little bit different sweat rate. So it averages from anywhere typically from 12 ounces an hour all the way up to, I've seen 48 ounces an hour. So you can see that drinking is going to be very important, because if you're losing a lot of fluid and not replacing it and getting dehydrated, your performance actually can decrease. So research shows that if you're a runner and you lose 2% of your body weight, which is not very much, usually 1 or 2 pounds for people, sometimes 3 or 4, but you actually slow down, and that's not what any runner wants to do. So the best way to do it is to start early and drink often. So I usually recommend every 15 to 20 minutes having something. And knowing how much you need really depends on how much you're sweating. And the way to tell how much you need, you can test your sweat rate. So the easiest way to do that I recommend is go out and run for an hour or half an hour or however long you can run for a typical amount of time, and see how much you weigh before and after. It's most accurate if you can weigh yourself without clothes on before and without clothes on after, because your clothes do hold some sweat. Take everything off whenever you finish running. And if you run for an hour and don't drink anything, you can just see how much weight you lost. Say you lost a pound, you needed 16 ounces for that hour run. So your sweat rate would be basically 16 ounces an hour. So if you divide that by 4, doing something every 15 minutes or so, that's about 4 ounces every 15 minutes that you would need to take in. Those little fuel bottles usually hold about 8 ounces. So you could drink half of one of those every 15 minutes as an option, and then see if you can test your sweat rate another time and see if that helped you at least maintain your weight a little bit better. When you do longer runs, you might lose some glycogen stores as well, so you might expect to lose 1 or 2 pounds in those longer runs. But if you're losing 3 or 4 or 5 pounds, I've seen even 8 pounds that people lose in a run, that's way too much, and that's going to definitely slow you down. So you can hydrate with just water. It's more effective sometimes to hydrate for longer runs with some of the products that have electrolytes and carbs in them. So I have a few products here. I have some Skratch Labs. This is one of my favorites, and it's a really good natural product. It doesn't have food dyes in it, and it has a lot of electrolytes as well. And it tastes amazing. So this is I love the matcha. That's what this one is. It tastes kind of like a matcha latte, so it's really easy to drink, and it gives you a little bit of caffeine as well. So this is a good one. If you're running for over an hour, I do recommend, an hour to an hour and a half, I do recommend doing sports drink instead of just plain water, because the electrolytes are definitely going to be necessary. This is another good one, Tailwind. So it doesn't taste very sweet, so a lot of people really like this one, and it also has caffeine. So either of these would meet your hydration needs. When it's hot and I'm not running as long and maybe don't need carbs, I like to do Propel. This is a Gatorade product, but it doesn't have any sugar or flavor or anything like that. You can get both of these, I know, at Fleet Feet here in town. This one you can order on Amazon. You can get the Propel in the store, but it doesn't have, it's not plain. So it's gonna have flavors and artificial sweeteners in it, which I'm not a big fan of. So these are some good options to start with. If you don't like something really sweet, like some of the sports drinks like Gatorade, these might be better options for you. But again, just plain water is fine unless you're doing something over an hour and a half. So be sure to start early. That'll help with your absorption rate and help you get all of your fluid in, and drink often. So every 15 to 20 minutes is what I recommend. And if you've never tested your sweat rate, that is a great place to start to make sure that you are achieving your best and running the best that you can.